Oh, Cogs just made a really good point that I really want to call out, because I thought of this earlier, but I got distracted by another topic. Cogs says we are all in the category. We can all benefit from accessibility-oriented design and settings. I absolutely agree with that. So it's a thing that we call the curb cut effect. And I think I've talked about this on the stream before, but just in case you haven't heard me do this rant, the curb cut effect is originally, all sidewalks had curbs that were high that you had to step up and down from. And there was an effort by the disabled community to get curb cuts put in. And those are the little places where the curb dips down and becomes a ramp so that you can get down and go across a crosswalk in a wheelchair. And one thing that they found was, like, once people experienced curb cuts, they realized that like, lots of people who were not in wheelchairs loved them. Parents pushing strollers, people, using like a shopping cart to try to get, from a store to their car. People who, were on crutches would have an easier time going down a ramp than they would have going down a high step. So like there are situational reasons, personal, like lifestyle reasons, short-term injury reasons, and long-term disability reasons why you might want the same accessibility feature. And so there's this idea that you try to think of across the board where, like for instance, I called out places where I, as a player who my vision is fine for playing games, there's places where, I really have to strain and I miss things and I struggle with our game's UI because, or just our game's overall experience, despite the fact that I see just fine. And there's a lot of, either situations or whatever, like places where accessibility features designed for people with low vision or designed for people with low hearing and things like that could benefit me as well. Like, for instance, subtitles. People think of subtitles as an accessibility feature, but like but my TV upstairs has just got really terrible. The speaker situation there is just really bad for some reason. And it's really hard for me to parse dialogue against the background sounds on a lot of movies and TV shows. And so I always have the subtitles on when I'm watching TV upstairs because I just miss everything. And then I found that I actually really enjoy, sometimes an actor's performance will be just a little bit muddled. They'll be mumbling a lot, or it'll be easy to miss a word, but I'll get every nuance of the line if I can, supplement my hearing with reading the subtitles. So even though I'm not deaf and I'm not reliant exclusively on subtitles to get the dialogue, it's like I still benefit from having subtitles exist. And so it really sort of thinking in terms of accessibility, trying to make your game accessible to everyone, or at least to the largest swath of people possible, regardless of disabilities, actually makes your game better for people who don't have those disabilities, because there's lots of reasons why somebody might benefit from an accessibility feature. Everything from personal preference to short-term situations to lifestyle situations like the kind of TV I have upstairs, or to whatever. Like, there's just all kinds of different reasons why somebody would benefit from that stuff. So it really, really helps a game to approach it from the very beginning thinking, I want to make this game accessible to everyone it possibly can be. And I'm going to fill it with features to make it accessible to people who you normally might think might not even be capable of enjoying this type of game. You just really go out of your way to try to make it as accessible as possible, because all of those features are valuable even to the core audience of people who would have been able to enjoy your game without them. Even those people will be glad those features are there ultimately. There are people, weirdos out on the internet, who will complain about it like it's some kind of problem to have extra features in a game. But whatever. I don't think those people actually represent the overall opinion of gamers. I think most people appreciate having more options and having the ability to overcome even short-term or preference limitations. So anyway, Cogs, I'm glad that you pointed that out. I really wanted to do a rant about that, and I had missed my shot earlier on.